Thank you. I kindly welcome all the speakers today. Our today's session is called UkraineInvest Talks Make in UA. Why? UkraineInvest is a governmental office which attracts and supports investment in Ukraine. So we are not only speaking about investment from abroad. So it is important for us that the local Ukrainian investor is strong enough. This is the best example for the external investment. And respectively, reacting on the initiative of the President of Ukraine and the Ukrainian Parliament, so speaking about the initiative of the President of Ukraine, I mean the law of the state support of the investments up to 30% to the project, from project to 20 million euros. So we are the office dedicated to support these projects. We already have 27 potential projects with the general sum of $2 billion. We're going to speak about it further on. So we are developing a strategy. So it is not enough that we have the necessary regulations, but we are competitors to the countries of the world. So after the negative growth of BIP, everyone in the world is striving to attract investments. So what do we call the driver of the economic development in Ukraine? So there can be many types of investments, social investments and infrastructure investments. But what is important for Ukraine? Manufacturing. Manufacturing shall be the driving force which will bring Ukrainian economy forward. So we are in Kharkiv today. We are in center of manufacturing Ukraine. We are speaking about projects that already are going on, and you are the example for the whole country. You have seen our esteemed guests in the first session, representative of Stadler and Rothschild families. So this is a very good example. So Make in UA is something about the manufacturing Ukraine. So manufacture in Ukraine. We're going to speak with the representative of local governments and with the people's deputies and with the representatives of the business about the current situations and further plans. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Igor, the acting mayor of Kharkiv. And I would like to ask you the question, if I may, so please keep it brief, up to 5 minutes. So what is going on in Kharkiv in terms of manufacturing and development of the economy and attraction of investments, both local and foreign?
Good afternoon. It's hard to get everything into 5 minutes, as the city is really doing a lot. Not any other single city is doing the same thing. It's my great pleasure that today we have such high representation at our international forum. This is another proof of the fact that we are ahead of other cities. First and foremost, great competition which is underway among the cities is the competition for investors. To win it, you need to be the first in everything. The most important is about openness. A lot has been said about that. I personally and our team believes that Kharkiv needs to be an open city. This will draw investment into it. We are doing this right now. Clear, specific rules for the investors must be developed. We're a huge engineering center. We are proud of our engineering industry. We have wonderful factories and plants like Turbo Atom, FED. A few days ago, I visited FED. This is an example which is worth following. They have Swiss highly technology installations which produce unique spare parts. Today we've been talking about potential of human resources. All the people being employed there have higher education. They graduated from Kharkiv Aviation University. They're real professionals in production and manufacturing. And it's really great when we are able to develop industry like that. What can a city do? We can create transparent, clear rules for the investment. We can attract investors. We can attract international monetary and financial institutions, and I am proud that we are active in that area. We've been closely working with the World Bank, EBRD, EIB. We are doing that well. We have certain trust from these financial institutions. Together, we are implementing a lot of projects. I already noted today that the only city which managed to build the waste management plant of a new generation, it's me, it's Kharkiv. Out of a mere landfill in several years, together with the World Bank, due to the loans from the World Bank, we made a unique project. We got the landfill gas, we transform it into electric power, which is supplied to the main grid. We earn money on the waste, producing 320 tons of waste per year. We are making money on that, and we have solved a huge environmental problem. Instead of a landfill, we recultivated the old landfill, and today we are going to have skiing routes there. It's really great. This is the future, and we are an example for other cities of Ukraine. Surely our major task is the development of industry, the industrial potential in the city. I am proud that together with EBRD and EIB we are implementing the metro extension project, construction of 2 metro stations, renovation of metro rolling stock, and of course we want this renovation of the rolling stock to be implemented by Kharkiv manufacturer, and Stadler has a unique chance today to be that manufacturer. Trams. This is environmentally friendly means of transport, and we pay a lot of attention to that. One of the major transporters, the second one after our underground, is the tram. We are interested that Kharkiv producer, well, if Stadler is localized here, will surely consider the opportunity of renovating the tram rolling stock. Well, actually, the whole of Ukraine needs to renovate their tram rolling stock. They need to renovate their transport infrastructure. And I want the development of transport infrastructure, the renovation of the rolling stock. I want it to be accompanied by the development of production within the city, because these are jobs, these are the revenue of our budget, the money which will be later spent on new investment infrastructure project. Buses, we have started the procurement of new buses, and I am grateful to our Turkish partners, Karsan company. Every 2 weeks we get a new supply of buses. We are interested in localizing the production, and we are striving to that. Another area, I am really grateful to Mr. Alexander Yaroslavsky, who was the energizer of holding Euro 2012, the UEFA Football Championship in Kharkiv in 2012. Due to that event, we are having now the airport and this wonderful hotel which hosts today's conference. Airport is a key infrastructural facility. Today we're going to sign several memorandums, one of which will allow the city to have another unique project. The repairment facility for maintaining Boeing aircrafts, which will be maintained here in Kharkiv, about 1,000 jobs. 30,000 will be the average salary. These are the investments into the city, creating jobs and paying taxes. So I want the city of Kharkiv to be the industrial capital of Ukraine. I want the city of Kharkiv to be the IT capital of Ukraine. We've been talking about the ambitious project of Silicon Valley of Ukraine, which has already started its implementation based on HTZ Ecopolis. This is the infrastructure. Based on that, the new neighborhoods will be built. This means the development of construction, and the development of IT and industry. This means the demand in real estate. So this is the chain which will give the city an opportunity to be successful. It will allow the city to be well ahead of all others. Thank you for your attention, and I call on all the investors to believe us, to trust in us.
Thank you very much for your speech, and thank you very much for the job you're doing. So we are working with every Ukrainian region, and positive examples really mean much to us, and we are really proud of you, of what you do for the business, and we are proud of the local businesses because of DCH Group, FED Company, and other companies of the region. It is not only an example for Ukraine, it is an example for the whole world, and we are spreading the word around about these wonderful companies. Right now, let me please go ahead and speak with the representatives of the legislative. Dmytro, so you are now at the Parliament of Ukraine. This is good, and you are right now connected to us online. So I would like to have a broader discussion with you. We know that in 2020, the flow of the direct investments to Ukraine was zero. So this had to do with the pandemic, and every country of the world faced the same challenge. But now we are seeing that the flow of direct investments is going on. It is right now 1.4 billion US dollar in the first quarter, and in the third quarter it has been 1.7 billion US dollars. And it is really important what you do about the regulations. And there has been a voting on the industrial parks on the 7th of September, and it already has been signed by Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, which is a great thing, and this is a great impulse for the development of the industrial parks. But we will be happy to talk to you about further two important laws, and what about the deadlines about on these on adoption of these laws. And another initiative the law of Ukraine about the public purchases, about the preconditions for the renovation of the Ukrainian manufacturing industry. So please tell us a little bit about the industry park. So you have 5 minutes maximum. Thank you very much, Serhii. Can you hear me well? Yes, we can hear you well. Wonderful. Dear colleagues, my name is Dmytro KYSYLEVSKY. I am the member of the Parliament of Ukraine. And my main idea today is that the cities profit from the development of the manufacturing and other way around, buying machinery from abroad that does not make too much sense, both for the region and for the whole country generally. So the manufacturing facilities, they also create jobs, and this is the way to overcome poverty and labor migration. So the country has to support the community to develop the industry on the one hand, and on the other hand, they shall limit the excessive export. And as you noted, the industrial parks are key to this process. So let me tell you a little bit in more detail about this. So the industrial park is the instrument to develop the countries, the communities. So I speak about a land plot with the connections, and the state can give subventions for these future parks. So last time when I spoke in Kharkiv, these were only plans, but yesterday the president signed a law about the compensation of the communication building for the industrial parks. If we find budget money, this can already be started next year. Further to project, this is the liberation of the VAT tax and subventions for other taxes, other local taxes. So we are working on these two legal investments, so they are adopted by the end of the year. So there is a plan to develop a industrial park in Kharkiv on the venue of Kharkiv plant. So another initiative, the support of the investors. So all the countries have the instruments to support exports, and we are learning how to do that. So I suggest that all the exporters closely look at this initiative. So so the state can support you in your efforts. And third area is about localization and about the respective legal initiative. So when machinery, the railway machinery, the aerospace, which is presented in Kharkiv, can count with subvention from the state. So this is the practice that we can see all over the world. For example, the example of Stadler and its cooperation with Minsk. The Bombardier company has a cooperation in Poland and gets contracts for supply of trams in Poland. Or, for example, the example of Kazakhstan. Well, this is the localization of manufacturing process, which means additional jobs and other profits. And some investment companies, some external companies tell us the tales that this cannot be made in Ukraine. But I am pretty sure that it is possible in Ukraine, because it is possible in Russia and in Belarus. So we have been buying trams and trains from abroad, but this must be changed. For example, in Kiev, Kiev bought Polish trams for 1.8 billion hryvnia. And there has been another competitor, a Ukrainian company. It could be cheaper, but they didn't choose it. For example, the Turkish buses in Kharkiv. This is a good intention, but whether these buses can be produced in Kharkiv as well, I believe that the Kharkiv regional government could make tension on the state government so that the state government support the localization of the manufacturing of these buses in Kharkiv. So we shall put an end to the policy of import. So this is why we are moving forward with this localization draft law. Right now, I would like to address all the foreign investors, so please do the localization of your manufacturing in Ukraine. And my address to the representatives of the government, of the regional government, if we are buying from abroad, we are stimulating the labor migration. But if we require localization, we are building the future of our cities and of our countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Your applause to the Parliament members for doing their great job. We haven't had such great changes within the whole history of independence. We've been always talking about changes, but they never actually happened. So thank you for doing that. Let's work together. We are one team. We are changing the legislation. We develop it to be implemented on the sides. The floor is given to Stadler representative. Please tell us about the perspectives of localization and about the possibility of work in Ukraine. We know that a memorandum was signed between Ukrainian Railway, the government, the Swiss credit agency, and your company. We see that you are interested, but we would like to listen to your exact plans. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you. In short, I will tell you about our plans in Ukraine. Ukrainian market is a priority for us. This is a very perspective market. Here we're talking about modernizing the infrastructure, about the total renovation of the rolling stock. And starting from this year, our company is doing very active sports on that market. On August 26th, our product Flirt was introduced in Kiev. The remarks were very positive. In general, as for the investment, our company is ready for the transfer of Western advanced technologies into Ukraine. Definitely, we are talking about technical universities. We are talking about training Ukrainian personnel in Western Europe at our enterprises there. As for the localization or the volume of localization, this depends on the volume of orders for our company. As of today, we are considering different facilities in Ukraine. We watched several facilities in Kiev, this region, in Kharkiv. Mr. Mayor said today that he would like the city to become an industrial center. In my opinion, it is an industrial center. Here you have a wide range of industries. Yesterday, our employees visited Kryvyi Rih. After lunch, together with Mr. Brunner, we are heading there too. We haven't taken the decision yet, but we are considering the plots of lands where this can happen. Today in Kharkiv, you will be presented our next product, which is a tram. This is a prototype which was produced in 2014. The tram was specifically developed for the older, worn-out infrastructure. After that, we'll have the procedure of signing the memorandum. This is another step on the way to localizing in Ukraine. Well, basically that is it. Thank you, Alexander, for your short description of all the processes. We do understand that your company is really important. You need to be careful when speaking publicly, but your presence here is a proof that you are serious in your intentions, and we do hope that your plans will be implemented in Ukraine, both in Kharkiv and in other cities. Now we proceed to Karsan. Mr. Deniz ÇETIN, we know that Karsan contributes to modernizing transport infrastructure in Ukraine. You're a partner in investment projects of public transport projects, and in terms of localization too, in terms of assembling the vehicles in Kharkiv. We would like to listen to your plans. What information can you share about carrying out business in Ukraine? Mr. Deniz, the floor is yours.
Let's see if this works. Okay. First of all, I'd like to start with thanking Mr. TEREKHOV, acting mayor and organizer of this great event today here. We are proud to be here. I think earlier this year there was another session of this international forum, and we were here, and we proudly signed 150 units of new generation, new technology buses to help Mr. TEREKHOV vision to transform the public transportation. He just called it as modernization. So we are great. We feel proud to be part of this transformation. We have been from the day one. We have been doing our analysis, try to investigate the potentials of Ukrainian market, not only city of Kharkiv, but also all other cities. And we see that there is a great potential here because I appreciate Mr. TEREKHOV's vision. He's trying to upgrade the city's infrastructure. Generally speaking, public transportation, not only trams, buses, but it needs other infrastructural improvements as well. And I appreciate all of these efforts, and again, feel proud to be part of this. Yesterday, when on my way from airport to here, I've seen one of our buses running on the road, serving public, already started, so it feels great. What we are doing, what we have been doing is, again, I just mentioned, we have been analyzing the market needs, the potentials, and we have also started analyzing how we can manufacture here and still be competitive, because what we are doing is really highly labor-intensive business. Manufacturing buses are really labor-intensive business, and we are in process of examining the procedures, the processes, localization, and hopefully, as my CEO was here previous forum, as he mentioned, our intention is to further investigate, and hopefully this will lead us to invest over here in city of Kharkiv, especially in Ukraine, for further development. For those who doesn't know who we are producing buses, and we produce from 6 meter all the way up to 18 meter, whole electric and partially diesel buses. In fact, we are the only first European bus manufacturer who can provide such a range variation. So we believe we will help not only city of Kharkiv, but generally speaking in Ukraine, transformation of public transportation and reaching the low carbon emission footprint in Ukraine.
Thank you very much, Deniz. Thank you for doing business with Ukraine. Thank you for doing business in Ukraine. And we are looking forward to see you more in Ukraine, in Kharkiv and other cities. Now I want to move to our next speaker. I will continue in English because it's an English spoken gentleman. And connection of his business to manufacturing is not straight, but still there is a connection. Why? Because we will be talking now about casinos. And I hope that many businessmen from throughout the world, they will be visiting Kiev and Kharkiv, and not only spending money in casinos, but at the same time, they will be looking at manufacturing, possibilities in Ukraine. So, Mr. Michael BOETTCHER, I would like to ask about your experience in Kiev. I know that you have opened your casino in Kiev already, and you do have plans for Kharkiv as well. So, could you share your experience of doing business in Ukraine, Kiev, and plans for Kharkiv? Thank you.
Sure, thank you very much. Thank you also for inviting me here. I'm very pleased to be here. Yeah, my experience so far. Not all bad. Some of it very good. The workforce here are great. The people here are great. I came to Ukraine first in 1991, and it's changed enormously since then. It's now a thriving community, great city, infrastructure. But there are, as Giovanni spoke earlier on, there are problems here and they can't be ignored. We did open in the Fairmont Hotel in Kiev successfully, but late. And why were we late? Because the government, who want to be our partners and want to work together with us, didn't give us a license in time for no particular reason. We met every requirement, but they delayed and delayed, so we lost a month. And when you invest millions of dollars into any business, you want to start as quickly as possible. That wasn't the case. We've also opened 7 different entertainment centers with slot machines and bars and cafes. Most of them were also late. We're going to open here in this hotel, and one of the reasons this hotel was built, according to Mr. Yaroslavsky, who's my partner, was to comply with the law that was going to come out, which limited, quite rightly, casinos to 5-star hotels in Kiev and 4-star hotels outside Kiev. But Mr. Yaroslavsky built a proper 5-star hotel with a casino downstairs, which we've now renovated, and we will hopefully be opening on December the 5th. But guess what? We still don't have a license. So where is the friendly government that's trying to help us? They also have some rather difficult laws that we have to deal with. That, to their credit, they are listening to us to change some of those laws. The taxes are high. The license is high. It's $13 million for a 5-year license. There are taxes on every table, blackjack tables, roulette tables, slot machines. There's a 1.5% military tax. Why not? There's 18% profit tax, which is fine. Then there's a 10% GGR tax, which is gross gaming revenue, which is far too high. And most ridiculous of all, there is a 19.5% of tax which is proposed. It still hasn't passed in the parliament. If it does, it will destroy the industry, which is a 19.5% tax on winnings. So if a player wins money, they have to pay 19.5%. Of course, when they lose money, they don't get any money back. They don't say, oh, well, you lost $100, here's $19.50. No, they don't. But when you win $100, you have to pay $19.50. Well, guess what? There are many casinos in this whole region. We have casinos in Georgia, in Belarus, in Armenia, a couple of other places I've forgotten. But all in Eastern Europe, it works. In Georgia, non-gaming revenue brings in $1.5 billion a year into the economy. When I say non-gaming, it's actually from people who visit the casinos with their families, and they go shopping, they go to restaurants, they stay in hotels and so on. The same thing can happen here. Geographically, Ukraine, if you look at the world, is right in the middle. The Pacific Ocean's on the other side. So the west coast of America is Vegas, Asia is Macau, and if you look at a map of the world, right in the middle is Ukraine. Ukraine could become a gaming center, an entertainment center, where you could have Las Vegas-type hotels bringing in entertainment. In the same, if anyone's ever been to Las Vegas, they know what I'm talking about. You could bring in world-class boxing matches. All the world-class entertainers would come here. Tourism would jump. I think it would double. And we're prepared to make that investment into building mega casinos here, but only if the government will help us a little bit. The other thing, talking about the 3 Cs, is illegal casinos, which still operate here. So I'm expected to pay these taxes and license fees, while around the corner, people are operating illegal casinos, which are closed on a Monday and reopen on a Tuesday, over and over and over again. This is not a good look. This is not a reason for foreign investors to come here and invest when the government is clearly, I'm afraid, not doing the job it is supposed to do. They are listening. They have said that they will listen, they will change, but you can't overtax any industry, and the gaming industry is no exception, into oblivion, which has happened in the rest of Europe, by the way. Gaming in Europe, especially in the EU, is impossible. I have business in Germany. The government makes 7 times more money than I do. I do all the investing, I do all the work. If I fail, tough, but if I succeed, they take 7 times more than I make. If you want to do the same here, the business won't survive. If you help the business, if you let it grow, you will increase tourism enormously. It will become a destination. Half of our players in Kiev, at the Fairmont Hotel, slightly less than half are foreigners. And they love it. And they're more and more coming. We've been open since May. We've increased business every month. We are profitable, I'm happy to say, and hope to continue that trend. But we need help from the government. I love this country, I really do. I've been I was in Russia for 20 years before they closed gaming in 2009, and was delighted when they legalized gaming here, because if it's not legal, it's illegal. So make it legal, have it done properly, which I'm more than happy to do, and get rid of illegal casinos, and you will have a boom. There were 500,000 employees in Russia during gaming. The business made, they don't know how much, of course, because it was never official, but it was in the 6 to 10 billion a year. Not much of that money went to the government. Here it will. So you help us, and we'll help you. Partnership, I heard earlier on from one of the members of the government. That's what we want. Be our partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Böttcher. We, as government's office that is responsible for attraction and support of investments, we also deal with any issues that investors may face in Ukraine. So I would treat this as a public application to UkraineInvest as well, because if we are talking about the speed of licensing procedure, then this is our direct responsibility to be that intermediary between yourself and between the authority. When we talk about legislation, of course, this is up to our colleagues in Parliament of Ukraine, but we will also be that communication point between yourself and legislators. So I'll be happy to talk to you after this session ends and talk to you in details. Thank you for signaling this to us and to the public. Я зараз хочу представити пана Сергія Войцеховського. Це керівник BGV Group Management, це інвестиційна компанія, яка керує бізнесом
але вони будуть конкурувати на європейських, американських і міжнародних ринках. Це проекти пов'язані з видобутком графіту і виробництвом
This has to do with graphite mining and energy storage batteries. These are the projects having to do with metal mining, like beryllium and production of rare metals, and uranium mining, titanium mining projects. This is what we have as well. So I've been reminding about a story by previous speakers. So people are speaking about Ukraine a lot, and that Ukraine has many challenges on the one hand and big perspectives on the other hand. We as businessmen, we are optimists. So let me share a story with you. So there has been a project with Newsweek, a very well-known news room. So they are creating an image project for Ukraine, showing the potential Ukraine has for foreign investors. And the leader of the group, who is working in Ukraine, he was for the first time in Ukraine. So he told me a story. So he had been asked a question. So the Newsweek people had been asked a question. This is a really powerful news agent. So they had to say what they knew about Ukraine. So the first question was, are you ready to invest in Ukraine? They said, no, not really, because Ukraine has too many businessmen who are slow at decision-making. And he said, I have been working with Ukrainians in post-Soviet countries a lot, and I know for sure they are really fast at decision-making. So some people know about our advantages, and the forum in Kharkiv and events of this kind, they really make the contribution into creating of the positive image of Ukraine. Speaking of the Kharkiv region, we plan to invest into the mining of oil and gas. So we have some land plots in the region of Kharkiv that have to do with the mining of oil and gas, and one of them, hopefully, we will open as a new mining spot. Because what is special about us, we are normally investing in projects where we are making everything from the scratch. Moreover, Kharkiv has a very powerful state institute. This is really scientific and manufacturing company. So we are right now negotiating, and we would like to broaden our cooperation. So we have the plans of beryllium mining and beryllium production. Thank you very much, Mr. VOITSEKHOVSKYI. So you spoke about the minerals of the future, as they are called, and Ukraine had signed an MOU with the EU about the cooperation in minerals, mining, and battery production. So could you please tell us what is going on in this sphere, looking through the lens of business? So this is my first question. And secondly, the central government and local governments, how can we help you cooperate with foreign investors? There are forecasts till 2030. The EU will lack lithium and cobalt to cover their demands in batteries. So please, could you give us a short comment? So let me step a little bit behind. So speaking about the batteries and the cooperation with the EU, we have projects that have to do with graphite mining, and graphite is one of the frequently used element for production of powerful batteries. For example, for electro cars. For example, Tesla is using this mineral, and everyone knows that the raw material prices are going up, especially in critical commodities. So you are right, absolutely, because it is not only the EU, the USA also has some critical materials they lack of. And Ukraine also has a list of critical material, whether we can feel it or not. So we can see that the interest towards this topic is really high, and hopefully we will have the first business cases soon enough. Answering your second question, what the government can do. Well, we really have lots of problems. They have been addressed by the previous speakers already. You know, business really needs, so it is not the help the business needs. The business needs that you don't disturb it. And we can see that the country has whole different plans, and we are really optimistic about the development of our project. Well, the concept of the government not intervening with the business, well, this is the concept of the past. Well, the government is supposed to support. This is the concept of the future, and we will be happy to speak to you about this. So we are speaking about the manufacturing in Ukraine and how Ukrainians shall develop the manufacturing market, how they shall achieve added value, and how they shall achieve that the raw materials, which Ukraine has lots of, can be sold, and how the processed raw materials can be sold in Ukraine and abroad. So we have the representative of Golden Ceramic Tiles, Madam Oksana OSTROGLIAD, the member of the board. So we know your company, and I personally know your representatives from London. I have met them, and I have helped them negotiating with the local business, and they not really needed my help. They have found the partners in London themselves, and they are developing their initiatives. So please share your experiences. What about your work in Kharkiv and your experience in entering the foreign markets? Thank you very much. I have the honor to present the Golden Tile Ceramic Group and Mr. Valentin Shchebetovsky, the owner of and the grounder of this company in Kharkiv. This group is represented by Kharkiv tile factory. So we have the capacities of 24 million square meters of tiles per year. So what are our main priorities? The modernization. We are investing about 10 million euros in modernization annually. On average, we are starting one line per year, and we are using Italian manufacturing facilities for that. And we are right now exporting our products to 43 countries of the world, and you have helped us to do that. What stimulates us? This stimulates us to really be attentive about the quality of our products. We have quality assurance lab according to the quality assurance guide 1725, and we have the right to put the quality mark on our product, which is a requirement to be able to sell our products to foreign countries. Raw materials and design, these are our advantages, and we have really powerful design laboratory. Last year, we also opened the Art Tile Hub in Kharkiv. So we are right now creating a showroom network. So this is not only a sale platform, but this is a platform to gather Ukrainian designers and designer students, so that the creation of modern and really high-quality products can be created. Creation of new jobs is also our priority, and we also take care for the working conditions so that the Ukrainians don't leave for abroad, because without human resources we cannot do and we cannot produce anything. So this is also important. Moreover, we all know that we are living in knowledge era, and we shall get profits from innovation. The pandemic has moved us to develop a new nano surface together with our partner university, Bekettov University. So this is a surface where harmful bacteria cannot get multiplied actively. I believe that another very important element is the energy resources, and we are moving forward in this direction. We are developing our manufacturing processes to shorten the usage of gas. We also introduce recycling of our products. So today we're speaking about public-private cooperation. From our standpoint, we believe that Ukraine can be really successful. And as you can see, Ukraine already has companies presenting their products on global markets. So the task of the government is to allow for creating as many manufacturing companies as possible. We know and we believe that the civil servants shall be on the side of the manufacturer, and we know the examples from Kharkiv.
Thank you. And now I would like to proceed to what I mentioned at the very beginning. To attract a foreign investor, you need to have a strong local investor. We've talked about some of them, and now we are having a representative of a big international company, Nestlé Group, Ilona ZADVORNA, Government Relations Manager at Nestlé Ukraine. We know that you are developing actively about Mivina factory. We would like to listen to your experience as a big corporation. What's your experience in working with local authorities, local businesses? What are your plans? Thank you for your question. First, I would like to express my gratitude to the city authorities and to Invest Ukraine for this opportunity to speak here. We are really one of the best examples of localization in Ukraine. Our company has been working here since 1994. We are the biggest food producer in the world. We are in Kharkiv since 2010. Mivina is our factory located here. We also work in our regions of Ukraine, Lviv, confectionery, Tsivkach, for example, or sauce and mayonnaise production in Volyn district under the ÇETIN trademark. Mivina is a leader on the market in the category of quickly cooked noodles. What should be mentioned is that starting from 2013, great amounts of our products have been exported to other countries, including the EU countries, under Maggi trademark. In 2020, almost 59% of production produced here in Kharkiv were exported to 17 countries of EU. You are absolutely right. This year, our company completed the reconstruction project and actually a renovation of the factory. The major purpose was to modernize the manufacturing facilities, to improve the working conditions and increase our competitiveness on the market. Together with modernizing the enterprise, this allowed us to improve our recipes. It's also important, a lot of attention is paid to that now by food manufacturing companies. We managed to decrease the saturated fats by 80% in our products. And actually to decrease the amount of fats, which corresponds to the WHO recommendations on saturated fats consumption. We managed to do that due to the use of high-quality sunflower oil produced in Ukraine. Apart from improving the product, our company also modernizes the manufacturing facilities, including projects related to energy efficiency at our factories. Well, it really influences the cost of product because the energy carriers are very expensive. We managed to reduce energy consumption of our production, and this also corresponds to Nestlé's obligations within the framework of sustainability purposes of the UN. The issue of sustainability development is of great importance in any company's work, both in Europe and in the whole world. Our company focuses on that. We also focus and actively work to make sure that our packaging is environmentally friendly. Until 2025, all our packages will be recyclable. This is in our obligations taken by the company, but we see that that is not enough. We need to create the system of managing packaging waste based on the separate collection and separate utilization. Aimed at that, together with other big producers, our company created a big production system which needs to be created due to the investment into separate collection and investment into package waste processing. We do hope to get support from the government and from the parliament. We need these systems to function. For that, we need a new law on waste. We need this law to be amended at the parliament so that it is in compliance with the European directive. The draft law has been adopted in the first reading. We are looking forward to the second reading. It will allow us to implement these projects. We have been working in Kharkiv relatively recently, but talking about our experience, we have a very positive experience of cooperation with local authorities. We are grateful to regional authorities and city authorities for their support they provide to the business, especially under these complicated conditions of pandemic, which also influenced us a lot. We do hope that this cooperation will continue, especially in terms of new challenges for business in Ukraine. I mean, creation of new certifying authorities, digitalization, issuing e-certificates, etc. This all requires a lot of efforts from businesses, but we do hope that our cooperation continues. Thank you very much. I would like to thank everyone. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions. Summarizing, Make in UA is about productive Ukraine, how it works based on our cooperation with local authorities of Kharkiv. Local authorities provide us with the information about their possibilities. They present their businesses already acting in Kharkiv, both to those sitting on the stage and in the first rows. I congratulate the city for managing to keep these businesses in Kharkiv. So our task is to make analysis and develop the proper regulatory policy. So talking about those 3 C's, which should be substituted by 3 P's, profits and partnership. Looking at how local authorities work, we should also add like example for our cities and high professionalism. Thank you.